So when I first heard of Netflix's 2017 film adaptation of the beloved manga and anime series Death Note, I was like... But after watching it, I was like... Oof. Death Note 2017. I watched this movie and I was like,
no! God, please, no!
It's like,
fucking thing sucks!
It's like, hoo boy! It's like... I do not know where to begin here. This is a masterpiece of fuck. They had every advantage making this movie. They had incredible source material. We've got Willem Dafoe voicing Ryuk.
It's pronounced Ryuk.
We've got this guy from these movies playing the lead role as Light. He acts, right? He's an actor. Can someone find out if this guy acts? We've got Lakeith Stanfield playing L. Okay, yes. Very talented actor. He played Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton. He played the guy who says,
"Get out."
Sorry, man.
Get out!
From Get Out, and he was really good in Atlanta.
Can I measure your tree?
No, not right now.
Right now? That basically means no, man.
Plus, he looks exactly like L, like an uncanny resemblance. And then we've got, oh God, who is this now? Now here's the best part. $40 million spent on this movie. $40 million on this?
Would you mind singing a song for me?
Of course. You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Step into the sun, step into the light.
What? Huh? Huh? What? Now, to its credit, Ryuk actually looks fantastic in this film, and I have to assume that most of that $40 million went into animating him. I love how he's constantly in shadow, highlighting his glowing eyes. In the anime, Ryuk is one goofy-looking motherfucker, but here he is legitimately menacing.
I'm not gonna give the note to you or anybody else, and if you fuck with me again, I'm gonna put your name in it.
Okay, fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! I will rain down an ungodly fucking firestorm upon you. You're gonna have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker! I will massacre you! I will fuck you up!
Add Willem Dafoe to the mix and he's easily the best part of this movie. Alright, maybe it's time to actually start this review. This is the Film Herald's 100% legit full review, spectacular Mondo presentation of 2017's Death Note by Netflix. It's worth saying right off the bat that the Death Note 2017 movie has absolutely nothing to do with the original manga or anime. It's actually pretty baffling. They used the premise of the Death Note itself and they used the character names, but that's about it. It legitimately seems like the screenwriters just read the first 8 sentences of a plot summary and ran with it. Yep, that's pretty accurate actually. The movie uses this and pretty much nothing else. The characters in this movie are nothing like their Japanese counterparts. So if you're a fan of the original anime or manga, this film was not made for you. But that begs the question, if it wasn't made for the fans, who is this movie for? Opening scene, we meet Light, a high school student who does other kids' math homework. I think this is supposed to show that Light is a really smart guy who doesn't care about following the rules. And that would be fine if he didn't spend the rest of the movie doing the dumbest shit possible in every situation he finds himself in. 2 minutes later, he taunts a 30-year-old high school bully who is much larger than him and gets punched in the face for it. But he's smart, okay? You know how I know that? Because he does other people's math homework. Boom! We're also introduced to Mia Sutton, and this opening scene completely sums up the complexity of her character. She's a cheerleader who doesn't give a shit. Well, she has one other character trait. Murder makes her really horny.
I'm at this game.
Remember how in the accountant video I made, I mentioned that a full 45 minutes of its 2-hour runtime was used just to develop its characters? Here's the screen time devoted to developing characters in Death Note. There you go. Light is given the Death Note, and here we're introduced to the Death God it belongs to, Ryuk. He gives a quick rundown of how the book works. Light takes the book for a test run on that guy who punched him in the face earlier.
Still getting headshots. It's like boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot.
He then immediately tells Mia that he has a book that can kill people and shows her that he's the one who killed the bully. So he's had this book for less than 24 hours and he's already confessed that he's a murderer. Keep in mind that he also does not know Mia, at all.
I'm Mia.
Oh, hi. I know that you're me, actually, already. I already knew that.
I know that you're Light Turner. I already knew that.
Yeah. You knew that you know my name?
They don't really know each other. And his game plan apparently is to tell her that he's a murderer in hopes of impressing her, relieving guilt. Well, it's definitely not relieving guilt, because he then gives Mia a demonstration of the Death Note's power on a conveniently timed hostage situation.
America, America. Fuck yeah!
As expected of any teenage girl, this is a huge turn-on for Mia, and she jumps at the chance to go on a killing spree with Light. Each time he murders someone, Light gets to another base. Keep in mind also that Ryuk follows Light wherever he goes, which means that whenever these two are doing it, Ryuk is standing there watching.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Because the Death Note has the power to control a person's actions 2 days before they die, Light's narcissism lets the world know that these killings can be attributed to a single source. Kira, the god of the New World. This attracts the attention of L, a mastermind investigator who sets himself to learn the real identity of Kira. We're also introduced to L's handler, Watari. Watari gives L some reverse eclipse glasses.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Watari has only one character trait, which he proclaims throughout the film.
Sleep is key to strong thought. Sleep is key to strong thought. Sleep is key to strong thought.
I don't know why he says this, he just keeps saying it. It's never explained. As it happens, Light's dad, James, is a police investigator. He ends up being extremely useful to Light as he uses James's login to access the city's criminal database, helping him to target more victims. Elle enlists Light's dad to help him with the Kira investigation. He comes to the conclusion that Kira is A, living in Seattle, as the previous hostage situation was only broadcast locally, and B, that Kira is using the Seattle police database to search for criminals. That second point is not well explained.
I have infiltrated your network in order to ensure that there hadn't been a data breach. Prior to my access, the network was intact.
Did you just hand me evidence you hacked the Seattle PD?
I handed you evidence that whoever Kita is, they've accessed the database from the inside.
Kira's one of ours.
In fact, this is the only explanation that L gives. It may seem like there's some key logical explanation that I just cut out, like I started this clip a sentence late or something, but I assure you, this is the only logic provided. I don't really know what led L to believe that Kira was using a criminal database to make his killings. In fact, he seemed to have killed many people internationally, people that wouldn't have been in Seattle's database. L then needlessly risks his own life by daring Kira to kill him on national television, by assuming with no evidence that Kira needs a name and a face to kill his victims. In the anime, this is probably the best scene in the whole series. L cleverly manipulates Light into revealing how he kills his victims by replacing himself with a body double on death row.
Kira, it seems you can kill people without having to be there in person. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't just witnessed it. Listen to me, Kira. If you did indeed kill Lynd L. Taylor, the man who you just saw die on television, I should tell you that he was an inmate whose execution was scheduled for today. That was not me.
In this version, however, it seems as though Light is simply omnipotent and knows that Kira can't kill him without knowing his name and face. Again, I just can't comprehend how this shoddy screenwriting made it into the film. The skeleton of the original story is here, but nothing else. It makes the narrative completely far-fetched. Plus, Light acts like a total bitter person. Fuck! L starts tailing suspects, including Light, with FBI agents. A strong breeze then alerts Light to the FBI's presence. Light wants to deal with it by acting as non-suspicious as possible, but Mia proposes that they kill all the FBI agents assigned to tailing suspects. Light doesn't like this plan and refuses. 2 days later, all the FBI agents die, and Light then assumes Ryuk is responsible.
Maybe you just need to take a minute and relax and see if this was the best thing that could have happened.
Oh no, who could have done this? Probably Ryuk. I can think of no one else who suggested this exact course of action who could have just done it herself. In response to the FBI agents' deaths, Light's dad holds a press release and dares Kira to kill him. Mia then tries to kill Light's dad in front of him and doesn't understand why he has a problem with this. The press release turned out to be a gambit by L to see if Light is a likely suspect in... Wait a second. What is that? Why does L have a watch with a Freemason symbol on it? L confronts Light and two incredibly stupid things happen. Light basically tells L that he's Kira.
I'm suggesting that maybe what you and the person you're after want isn't so different, and maybe they're as ready to see the killing end as you are.
In response to this, L shows Light his face, again not knowing how Light kills his victims or whether he needs a name. This movie wants you to believe that both of these characters are smart. Light makes up with Mia because, well, boobies, I assume. Never mind the fact that this person just tried to kill your dad. It's water under the bridge. Or should I say, Watari under the bridge. Light uses the Death Note to control Watari in order to discover L's true identity. It turns out that even Watari doesn't know L's real name, but he goes back to the orphanage where he was born, and here too is evidence of the Freemasons for some reason. Here's an Ouroboros, here's the Eye of Providence, and here's a double-headed eagle. The insinuation is that the Freemasons made L who he is today, but I don't understand why that matters. It never comes up again. Anyways, Watari doesn't find the name and ends up dying before Light can save him by burning his page, because his page is missing from the Death Note. It turns out that it was Mia the whole time! She killed the FBI agents, she stole the page, and now she wants the book for herself so she can get off to killing people and cut out the middleman. She writes Light's name down in the Death Note, stipulating that he dies at midnight, but promises that she'll burn the page if Light gives her the book by then. L goes after Light, having learned that Watari is dead. Cue the music. So we finally come to the big dumb ending. Light meets Mia at the Ferris wheel to give her the Death Note, but tells her that if she really loves him, she won't take it.
If you love me, then you gotta trust me. Don't take the book.
Spoiler alert. Guys, I'm warning you, if you don't want to hear the spoiler, get out now. Okay, is everyone gone? Okay, I'm gonna spoil it in 3, 2, okay, are you sure though? Are you sure you want to hear the spoiler? Well, okay. 3, 2, 1, Mia takes the Death Note. Fuck you, Light. I cannot wait to murder people with this thing. Oh, fuck, why is the Ferris wheel falling apart? Oh, fuck, oh! Okay, so here's Light's plan. Just before he leaves the school to escape Elle and the cops, he uses the Death Note. He stipulates that when Maya takes the Death Note, a convoluted set of events will take place. First of all, the Ferris wheel will fall apart. This will cause them both to fall off the Ferris wheel, but despite them falling from the same location, Maya will land on the shore and Light will land in the water. One of the rules of the Death Note is that it can only cause a death to occur as written if it's physically possible.
Each death must be physically possible, so no shark attacks while someone's on the toilet.
To me, this feels a lot like a shark on the toilet situation. They fall from exactly the same place, but Mia goes this way and Light goes this way. And while we're on this subject, having a Ferris wheel spontaneously combust also feels like a not possible situation, but we're mulling over that. So Mia falls towards the shoreline, but as she falls, she also pulls out Light's page from the book, which floats down and conveniently lands in what appears to be a garbage fire on the shoreline. I mean, is this real? Is this supposed to be physically possible? I mean, from this height it lands here? So Mia dies on the shoreline, Light falls in the water. This was shot on the Seattle Great Wheel, which stands at 53 meters tall, but Light falls from, say, 70% of its total standing height. So he fell from a height of approximately 37 meters. It is possible that he could have survived from this height. The highest a professional diver has jumped and survived was 58 meters, but he landed, like a diver. No, not that diver. Yeah, more like that. But from this height, the diver who holds that world record fractured his spine and suffered internal injuries, having dove into the water using as minimal an impact as possible. The problem is that although Light fell from a lesser height, He also appears to have landed on his neck while entering the water. I raise serious doubt as to whether he would have survived this, but somehow this is still the most believable part of the whole scene. Light uses the Death Note to bring a doctor with a criminal past to the pier to pull him out of the water and chemically induce a coma. The doctor then kills himself. Simultaneously, a pedophile is used to fish the Death Note out of the water, and for the next few days he writes down the names of criminals in it before giving it back to Light and killing himself. Since criminals keep dying even with Light in a coma, it removes suspicion from Light being Kira, and L is forced off the case. They leave a little room for a sequel at the end, and then finally, mercifully, we reach the credits. Good job. Good work, everyone. I think we all deserve a little credit here. I would like to thank my mom for helping me get this far. Also, I'd really like to thank Satan. I look up to him. I don't believe that through any human hand I could have gotten this far. The big Lucifer in the sky, in the hood. Hail Satan, everybody. Good night. Thanks. You've been wonderful. There are two fundamental problems with Light's master plan. Firstly, he's given maybe 5 minutes to think of this plan and implement it. Maybe he's able to think this quickly because, as established earlier on, Light he's smart, okay? He does other kids' homework. But it strikes me as unreasonable that he could have thought of all this in just 5 minutes. The second problem is that Light wrote down that Mia Sutton would be killed when she accepts the Death Note from her boyfriend, not if.
Mia Sutton is killed when she accepts the Death Note from her boyfriend.
This whole scene where Light tries to convince Mia not to take the book is in fact completely pointless, because her actions are being controlled by the Death Note. She has to take the book here. She doesn't actually have a choice. This movie marks a real shift in my confidence of Netflix-produced films. Netflix has made and is currently making great films and great television, but Death Note 2017 is not one of them. I have almost nothing good to say about this movie. The acting is bad. The script is nonsensical. To be honest, I got just one good thing out of this movie, and that was going back to watch Willem Dafoe as the motherfucking Green Goblin. This man is a national treasure. Make another Spider-Man movie with Willem Dafoe and I will buy all the tickets. Thanks for watching. Thanks for, sticking it out this long. And until next time, this has been the Film Herald.